What's up YouTube, it's Louis here bringing you today's cryptocurrency video. So we're going to take a look at Bitcoin at first because we always do Bitcoin first. So if you remember yesterday I was saying that I would like to see, of course if we were to lose, 44k, then I would expect a rollover to the monthly 20 EMA. This is the 12 monthly EMA. So if you lose that, I would expect a wick down to here, and we would like, if we were to come down to here, I would like for us to get back up and close roughly on this resistance, like what you're doing right now, but with just a larger wick to the downside like that. If we don't get that dump to here, then I would expect, I would like Bitcoin to close the month up here above this this resistance point, confirm it as support, like what you did here. You had this resistance, you went up, eventually come back down to it, confirm that support on breaking you higher, higher, low, higher, high. So hopefully, of course, this is what I would like to see, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So two possibilities. I'd like to see it close on this resistance, because they're your two closest resistance points. So let's go to the weekly time frame now. I'm going to get some fibs out. I think we're holding a significant key level. So when you're trying to get targets for when you break this resistance point here, you want to measure a dip. So we've got the top of the dip. How do we know it's the bottom? Let it start going up. So the bottom of the dip over here. You start working your way through the fibs. So precursor that you're going to get to that 0618 is breaking above that 0382, confirming our support. So that's when we head to the 618, overshot that before falling exactly to that 0.5, which is where the 55 weekly EMA is now sitting. And then we've come up, got overextended. I've seen this a lot of times, but we go to the 1. You can go in your back test in your charts where you go to the 1 and fall all the way back down to that 0618, and that's what we're holding on the weekly time frame at the moment. Of course, today is not the end of the week. This is still a current candle, so we can't make judgments on that. But you can see you're sitting nicely on resistance, support. So when you broke out over here, you never back tested it with red candles, and you can argue for lower down areas when we go on the daily time frame. So I'll show you why potentially we could be coming down a bit more, but it's all potential, guys. Remember that we're sitting on the 0618 nicely, and if you can confirm that support, or even come down to here and eventually get back above the 0618, then we do have 107k as a target. So I hope you guys understand that. I'm going to delete this now because we know where it's sitting at, and I'm going to measure from here to here. So there's two ways of using the fibs. One is measuring a dip to see where you're going to go to next, or one is measuring a pump to see where it's going to dip to, basically. And when you start dipping, the most common area to come to is the golden pocket, the 050 and the 0618, but this is the most common key Fibonacci level. Of course, you can roll over and bounce off the 0786, but this is like more of a rare occasion. Most of the time when you lose the 0618 and hit it as resistance, you are most likely going to come to the 1, where of course you can double bottom like this, but a lot of the cases you do lose it, hit your head, and you fall to these downward targets. But we're not seeing that at the moment. That's right now is hopium, because remember, 4 and a bit days left of this candle, so can't make a judgment like that at the moment. You'd have to come here first, lose that, hit your head, then yeah, potentially going to come to the 1618 at 28k again, back to these lows, which we do not want to see at all, guys, because you're losing daily higher lows. But to be honest, guys, we're already in a daily downtrend. This is the weekly. The weekly we're still in an uptrend, but on the daily time frame we are in a downtrend. Same with the 4 hour. And what's funny is yesterday when Bitcoin pumped, I saw lots of people on Twitter going, "Oh my gosh, this is the start of it. This is the start of us going to the moon. This is the start of the parabolic moves." And I was just literally laughing because I went through yesterday, guys, didn't I, with the crypto fear and greed index. Let's just take a look at that quickly. Look where we are right now. We're at 28, guys. Literally after a little pump, the tiniest pump, we went from 21 extreme fear to 28. It just shows you how quickly the sentiment changes, and for me this is screaming for another dump, because I just think it's gone too high. Of course I may be wrong and you don't have to agree with me. It's just I think this is already way too high. Like even when we were down here we were at 31, and then when we were up here we were at 16. Like what the hell? We at over here 31, over here 16. Like what is going on with the fear and greed? It's just shouting for dumps. Do you know what I mean, guys? So let's get on with it. So CoinSkid was saying that we could land on the 0786, and of course when you lose that 618, you do fall to that 0786, and that's lining up nicely with the 55. So maybe wick down before bouncing up above this, confirming the 0618 support. And then of course if this is the bottom here, then we can grab the fibs, measure the dip. How do we know it's the end of the dip? Let it start going up. Of course, we need to wait a few more weeks, so to say, to see if it is going to go up. But at the moment, if this is your bottom, which a lot of people are saying, if you were to get above the 0618, or like if this is your bottom, basically your next target is the 1618 at 94k, which lines up with that larger 107k. Look where your 2 is, 113k, so that's also lining up with that larger fib retracement measuring this dip over here. So I do like that, of course, but we don't know if it's the end yet. Would like to see this week close out over here. If you close below, going to roll over to that 0786. Let's take a look at the daily time frame. So the reason why potentially it could roll over to that 0786 is because we never back tested this area support when we left it. You have now with the wicks, but I want to see bodies, guys, and this is why potentially this is a flag pattern. And we have looked at the target yesterday, and that was sitting at the monthly 20 EMA at roughly 37k. So of course, if you do fall out of this, that is a technical target. But if you were to break back above this support point / resistance when it drops below it, then and get back above and confirm it as support, you'll invalidate that. So it's all about this neckline. Lose it, you validate that 20 monthly EMA. Get back above it, you invalidate that. Just like with this M pattern, I was one of the first people to call this out, and no one believed me because I was shouting for dirty targets to the downside. Because what, we were up at 69k. I said if we lose 58k, if you lose 58.4k or something like that, then we're going to roll over to 49k. The reason I said 49 is because the 0618, and that's exactly what we've done. And if we take a look at the weekly time frame, we've literally been holding above that support for so long now. You could even say that we're sitting on this resistance point over here. So I'm going to go back to the daily now, see what there is. Yeah, look, you're sitting on support, which was previous resistance, but I do think we may come down to this 0786 44,600, because you have resistance, support, resistance of this double bottom. When you broke out of that double bottom, you went a bit too vertical, and that's what's led to this nasty dip, guys, and never back tested that support on the daily time frame. So that's what's potentially going to drop us down to here. Of course, lose this, you're validating the 20 monthly EMA at 37k, but if we could come to the 786, get back above that, work our way through these fibs, then eventually we can get back up. But remember, if you lose this, you're on a technical target. Just like with this, once you lost this, I said the only way to invalidate this is getting back above that line, confirming it as support. And I said until then, until you get back above and confirm it as support, we are in a technical target down to here. And I was one of the only people calling for that. A lot of people were calling for it when you're already down here, but I was calling it before you even broke the neckline. So not a lot much more to say, guys. You know where I want Bitcoin to hold on the monthly time frame. I want it to be on that or I forgot really where it was on the monthly. Yeah, so you want to hold above where you are now, 47k on the monthly, or I would like for us to get back above 58k on the monthly time frame. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. So you had this double bottom over here, neckline, now retested. So let's check what the technical target out is for that. So I'm going to measure from here to here, put it on the break. So your technical target is sitting at around 49k, which is above the 55 EMA. But look what happened when you got above it last time. Same double bottom over here, you eventually rolled over, created some sort of head and shoulders right here, shoulder, head, shoulder. So just because this is a W right now, yep, you're in a downtrend, so W's don't work, will work in the short term. Whoop, drop, you know what I mean? So same thing could happen, boom, drop. Again, if we lose this, negative. Of course, at the same time, we are in a larger ascending triangle, which we've been speaking about for a long while now. This over here. So this is your ascending triangle. So you are still in that, basically. So you do have a technical target. Once you break 51k, sitting at about 55,400, which would take you above the 200 EMA. But I'm not even going to look at that until you break this. Right now, that is hopium, you know what I mean? Yes, you are in ascending triangle, but until you break that resistance, it's not valid, and we're nowhere near that resistance. So that's why I'm calling for this potential, some people say falling wedge. If it is a falling wedge, your target is at the top. But I think that could be that bear flag that we've been talking about in the last day. So if you were to lose the support, you know where you're going to, basically. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one, and as always, peace.